Hello, everyone. I'm Justin,
And I'm Marcella.
and this is Sailor Manga, the podcast where we take a deep dive into the iconic Sailor Moon manga by Naoko Takeuchi and discuss it to our heart's content. Happy Moon Day, Marcella. How are you?
Happy Moon Day. Yes, I'm not too bad, thank you.
Good,
We're
good.
coming off the long weekend.
Yeah, the long weekend.
Yeah, didn't really do much because, COVID.
Right.
And yeah, not too bad. How about you?
Good. Yeah, doing pretty good. I wish I had a long weekend, but
Oh
hashtag
yeah, sorry.
retail.
Sorry.
Hashtag retail. But otherwise I'm
Yeah.
doing all right, doing pretty good. Just bipping and bopping along. What can I say?
Enjoying your wine.
Yeah, so I got some lovely pink Moscato here with my Sailor Moon mug, and I'm enjoying it. But yeah, so today we are reading chapter 12, I believe. Is that what we're on? Yeah, chapter 12,
Yes.
which is titled Enemy Queen Metalia. And yeah, this is a really, really good one. But as always, before we do that, we gotta settle our moon news. So Marcella, what's your moon news for this week?
It's yeah. That's my way of saying I don't really have any. Just little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Because last week was a biggie moon news wise, wasn't it?
Oh
So
yeah, we had such a big chunk.
yeah, so I think okay, just like tone it down this week. Personally, you can tone it up as much as you like. So what have I got? Oh, so obviously that I got the Sailor Moon DVDs, and I was
Yes. Have you
so
started watching?
excited. I was so excited to jump into them. So naturally, I haven't watched a single episode
Too busy
because
gaming. We've been too busy playing
I've
Dead by Daylight chapter.
yeah, and also I've just been in a Carly Rae Jepsen trance for since you
You
told me about the
have
B-sides. You
of
told me about the
dedicated.
B-sides.
Yeah.
I thought that, Emotion was as good as it got, and I got introduced to the
Oh,
B-sides,
you hadn't heard of
Emotion.
Emotion Side B either?
No, I didn't even know it existed.
Oh wow. Yeah,
I have
that's
been
cousin
out
Bob's.
of the
Roses,
loop. Oh,
door,
roses. Oh,
higher,
don't get me started. It's been like Club
first
Tropicana.
time.
Club Tropicana here
Club
this weekend.
Tropicana.
I have been my
I
plastic
love that.
earrings. I've been belting out these songs. Paul's been loving it.
Wearing the spandex. Yes, I love it. Neon color.
Yeah, and but yes, that's not moon related at all. But that kind of explains why there's no advancement with the Sailor Moon
Yeah.
properties. And then I'm just going to mention it briefly, and then we're going to move along
Okay.
because we can't have the same discussion each week. But I haven't got the mug yet.
You haven't?
No, but let's move on.
Oh
Because
my god.
I know. Let's
Where's my
move on.
email?
Let's move
Dear
on.
Mr. Bubble, I am an American homosexual on behalf of a British woman.
Oh, I like.
I think as an American, I am entitled. Wait, that needs to be caps lock. Entitled to. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I like where this is going.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can, yeah.
I cannot believe you haven't gotten the Moon
I
Mug
know.
saga deepens, y'all.
Yeah, it does.
Ugh.
I'll update next week with this thrilling installment.
Thrilling conclusion.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
Oh gosh.
On the edge of your seat.
I love it.
What's your main news?
Okay, so I really don't have a whole lot either. This is a Moon News light this week. But so I have watched some episodes of the original Sailor Moon anime, of course.
Yeah.
I just watched the episode where Usagi and her family go out to the lake for like a little vacation, and there's a monster that was like trapped by these two lovers and the statues. I don't know if you remember that one, but they might have cut it in the original dub, so I don't know if you've seen it. I can't remember if they cut that one or not, but I just finished that one because I think I mentioned it last week. I sort of watch an episode before I go into work every morning, like
Oh,
just
nice.
to like wake myself up, get ready, get pumping, get that Sailor Moon serotonin.
I usually spend the time just crying.
Yeah, honestly.
In preparation. I'm
But
impressed.
yeah, so I've done that. What else? This isn't really Sailor Moon related, but it's Sailor Manga related. So Marcella, Marcella and I mentioned or was it last week or the week before or whatever? Well, I guess it was the week before last week because Thomas asked us if we were going to read any more manga after Sailor Moon was over.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so Marcella and I ordered the first volume of Claymore,
Mhm.
the first manga either of us have ever owned besides Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
And I read it. I was like laying down one night and I was like, I'm just going to read one chapter and like see how it is. But I was so entranced, like so shook by like the ending of the first chapter, like the little twist that they had. I was like,
Yeah.
what? That I had to keep reading. So
Have you finished it?
I haven't finished it yet. I'm
Oh,
like,
okay, I was
but
gonna say.
I'm halfway done.
Okay.
But I did go ahead and order the second volume mainly
Yeah.
because apparently volume 2 is like really hard to get right now.
Mm,
Like all the other volumes you can sort of get, but volume 2 is like the one. So I ordered
mm.
it, but I got an email actually yesterday that said it's on back order. So it said, you know, you still have it, it's still pending, it's not canceled yet. So just expect an extra week or two for shipping. So I guess I'm just like waiting.
Okay.
We'll see if I get that before you get your moon mug. Like
Oh, you will.
I'm setting Redbubble on fire.
Yeah, you will get it before the moon mug's been shipped from the moon, so
Apparent fucking Lee.
that's why it's taking so long. It's weird you
It's
should
crafted
say
from the crater.
yeah, it's weird you should say, that about volume 2 because volume 2 I can get a hold of really easy on Amazon UK.
Really?
It was volume 1 that I struggled to locate.
Oh,
I had
interesting.
to go through a third party seller,
Oh,
um,
nice. And see
and get
for
a used
yeah,
copy.
yeah.
But it
Oh,
was
you
fine. It
had a
was
used copy. Oh, okay.
yeah, but it was in really good nick.
Okay.
And then the rest of them, from what I can tell, are just direct from Amazon, so
Yeah.
they should come, in a timely fashion.
I would hope so. Yeah, because when I go to Amazon, I'm looking at it right now. When I go to Amazon Volume 2, it's like buying options, and like some of them are like
Yikes.
over $50. And I'm like, girl,
Oh, come
no.
on.
I'm only paying 10, which I did. I only paid 10 for it from I don't know if y'all have this over in the UK, but Books a Million. It's kind
No.
of like a secondary Barnes and Noble, like the lesser Barnes and
I
Noble
don't think we
around
even
here.
have Barnes& and Noble over here,
Oh, okay.
but I
But
know of
yeah,
it.
right. So I ordered it from booksamillion.com and so
Ooh,
yeah.
Books A
Yep.
Million. Ah,
Books a
books,
million.
always. I'm looking
Yeah.
it up. I think it's oh, yeah, it's I can tell it's an American site straight away because it says cart instead of basket.
Oh.
We have baskets in the UK.
And
Anyway,
see, in the South, we call them buggies.
buggies. Oh,
Yeah. So, like, you know, when you go to the grocery store, you're like, "Oh, I need my buggy to put my groceries in."
a buggy would be what we would push a small child in.
And see, that's a stroller here.
Yeah,
See, we're just learn educational podcast.
I
Like what
know.
we've
Oh,
told you
yeah.
time and time again.
We're gonna have to reclassify.
Yeah, just like educational. Instead of animation and manga, it's gonna be educational.
Yeah.
Scientific research.
Yeah.
All right. So, as I said, today we are reading Act 12, Enemy Queen Metalia. And this one kind of starts right off from the
Oh,
cliffhanger
yeah.
of last week.
Mm,
Because if you remember, Queen Beryl showed herself, and
she
she
did.
basically was like not Queen Endymion, although I would stand if Usagi was a lesbian and was into Queen Endymion. Love that.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but Prince Endymion is brainwashed, and Usagi was shook by this.
Mm,
So we start with this beautiful color page before we get the chapter page, because we're gonna have to talk about the chapter page for at
yeah.
least like 5 minutes. But
Yeah.
the first page of the act is all in color, and it's got Usagi, and she says, "Mamo, Endymion?" And then she's thinking to herself, "You're alive. It is you, isn't it?" And then we get this picture of Endymion, like I said, all in color, and his
Mm.
eyes are a black void. And she's thinking, his eyes are so cold. Doesn't he recognize me? And then she gets a flash. She thinks back to when he was like, "My name's Endo. Nice to meet you."
How many names does this guy need?
You know, Endymion, Endo, Mamoru. What else?
Tuxedo, Mamo.
Tuxedo, Matoki's boyfriend, like so many different
Yeah,
names.
I know.
But Usagi's like, when I met you then, were you already under her control? And then how badass is this panel of Mamoru and Queen Beryl
Oh, yeah.
at the bottom with like Beryl's red ass hair, her purple dress. It looks
Yeah.
so cool.
He's looking like her little boy toy as well.
Yes, she's very like a 45-year-old divorcee with like a
Oh,
21-year-old
yeah.
boyfriend.
Yeah,
Love
called
that.
Chad or something.
Chad! Not Chad!
I don't know.
God, fucking Chad. Oh, I love it. But anyway, Chad. Oh, I wasn't ready for the Chad. Okay.
No one's ready for the Chad.
No one's ready for the Chad. Oh god. Usagi's thinking, does this mean you're one of the Dark Kingdom's minions now? And then we flip to the chapter page, which is a 2-page spread, all in color, and there's drawings of each character. Like some of them are
Yeah.
just like headshots, and then some of them are like full length, half length, but like literally every character that we've met so far is on these 2 pages.
Yeah, everybody.
Everyone, like we've got and not only everyone, but we've got like civilian drawings of like Ami, Makoto, Ray,
Yeah.
and then we've also got Sailor Mercury, Sailor Jupiter, Sailor Mars. If you aren't following along on the manga, just search this because you gotta see it. It's there's too
Yeah.
much going on for me to accurately describe everything.
The beautiful collage.
A gorgeous collage. But I will say, this struck my interest last night when I was reading it. If you look at this
Hmm.
little panel of Reika, she's blonde. And
Um,
in the anime, she has
oh,
brown hair. So I
oh.
thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it's got a little picture of a bunny saying, "Tell us who your favorite is."
Yeah, I love that. I think that's supposed to signify Naoko, which is adorable.
Mm.
And then there's even a panel for Phobos and Deimos, and it says Caw.
Even
Like,
Ray's grandpa's on there.
yep, straight from jail, he's doing a headshot. Love
Yeah.
it. Even Naru's mom, Umino. And
Honeymoon.
I don't know if you know, I don't know if you know this, Marcella, but underneath Umino's, there's a little panel that says I'm Amino. You see it?
No.
Yeah, on the second page, there's Naru Asaka, and then Naru's mom, and then underneath that, there's Umino, and then there's another looking Umino guy. It
Oh.
says I'm
Oh.
Amino.
Oh, yeah, I see.
That is the geek character in Sailor V, the Sailor V manga.
Okay.
And I think he's Umino's cousin, I think.
Oh.
So yeah, I thought that was cool. I didn't see that till last night, and I was like, oh wait,
No,
they
I
they,
didn't
they
see
made a
that.
little throwback. But
It's
yeah,
like
like I said,
right
there's
in the crease.
yeah, it's hard to see him. Oh, I just saw Haruna too. I didn't see Haruna next to Nephrite in the crease.
Oh, yeah, I
So
see.
cute. But yeah, like I
Oh,
said, everyone's
everybody's there.
here. It's even got brainwashed Mamoru as Endo. Like everyone is
Yeah,
here.
everybody.
But yeah, the last thing I want to mention on this page is just how cute Usagi looks because they gave her actual rabbit ears, and she just looks
Yeah.
fucking adorable.
Yeah.
And the fact that all of this is in color is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. But anyway, enough reminiscing. So then we cut to the page and we get right back to the black and white action girl.
Yeah.
So then we have a panel of Mamoru and Beryl, and Usagi is still monologuing, still working through all this trauma. And she says, "You're working for this Queen Beryl, this ruler of the Dark Kingdom, and you came here to take the mystical silver crystal from me?" And then she screams, "It's not true. Look at me, tuxedo mask. Mamo!" And then Ami's in the same panel with Usagi, and she's like, "Usagi, calm down." I think she's kind of justified, but if you want to tell her
Yeah,
to calm
she is.
down,
Mm.
I mean, that's up to you. So Mercury says he's only temporarily under her control if we can defeat
Yeah.
Queen Beryl. And then Beryl says, "Pitiful princess, the prince you once knew is no more. You breathed the silver crystal's power into the prince's lifeless body, but to no avail. He died. It was the power of my supreme ruler, Queen Metalia, that brought Prince Endymion back to life. She has granted him power as she has granted me, and made him the Dark Kingdom's most powerful warrior."
Wow.
Yeah. And Usagi, mouth agape, she said, she's like thinking to herself, he died and was brought back to life as a warrior of the Dark Kingdom?
Yeah, she just said that, Usagi. You just repeated.
Yeah, it's like you don't need to repeat it, but
Yeah,
that's
we
fine.
got it.
That's her vibe. So Mamoru wastes no time. He attacks them by flashing some energy at them.
Can we talk about the pose that he's?
Yeah, it's like leg out, like knee bent.
It's stop in the name of love.
Yeah,
He's about
stop.
to break.
In the name of love, before the crystal breaks. Anyway. But yeah, and Queen Beryl looks like a boss ass bitch behind him. Her hair's
Oh
waving
yeah.
behind her. Sinister
Oh
as
yeah.
fuck.
Wow.
A sinister siren queen,
Smoking.
okay?
Oh, we love.
And all the girls are just standing there. And then it cuts to outside the Crown Game Center, because if you remember, we're still in the moon layer.
We are.
We're still in the moon layer. And so the Crown Game Center, a light comes through the ceiling, and it's like the roof has blown the fuck off from
Yeah.
this energy blast.
Yeah. Yeah.
The roof is on fire, if you will.
Oh yeah.
So the girls are like shielding themselves, and this panel of Mako, I adore it. She's thinking
Oh,
to
I
herself,
know.
he's tough. And then she's like, damn. But what I love about this is not only is she posing, getting ready to attack, and the antennas coming out of her tiara, but
Yeah.
you see her rose belt is on display, which I love seeing because it's not part of the anime.
Yeah.
So I love seeing her rose belt. So she's about to attack, but Mercury says, Jupiter, no, if we keep this fight going any longer, the command center will ... It's like, what? Deteriorate? The roof is already gone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're kind of already there, girl, but whatever.
Oh yeah.
All right, so then it cuts to Motoki on the ground. He's like, "Ugh." he's sickly.
Mm.
He's probably like, where's my boyfriend Mamoru? So, and he's like, where's his cow vest? He's
Oh
wondering.
yeah. God, I'm glad that's gone.
But so the girls, Mercury and Jupiter come over to him, and they're just like, it almost looks like they're shielding him with like a force field or something. I'm not really sure what's
Yeah.
going
They've kind
on.
of dropped to the ground, haven't they? And they're
Yeah,
assisting him. Not that he
yeah,
deserves it, but
no, he doesn't deserve it, but they are helping him, which is nice.
yeah.
And so they're dragging Motoki away, and he's like, huh? Where am I? And then gasp. And then he's like, you're, and then it's so cute panel
I know.
of Jupiter and Mercury. And Jupiter says, relax, Motoki. We'll make sure nobody destroys the arcade. Well, you failed. The roof is gone.
Yeah, it's now an open air
Yeah, this is basically an
game
auditorium.
center.
This or no, what's it called? An amphitheater. This is a gaming
Yeah.
amphitheater.
Yeah.
But then Mercury turns to Luna because Luna's magically there, and she says, "Luna, I need some time axis calculations." And bitch, what? Did you just speak some type of far off jargon? I don't know what the fuck
I'm
thinks she's
Googling
talking
time
about.
access.
You should.
I am. Oh, time axis denotes a generic time point. Concrete time axis is an what's that word? Can't read it. Of an abstract time axis where the origin gets bound to a real time point. Okay, I'm no further forward.
Yeah, I'm like,
Let's move
I
on.
don't know what the fuck that is, but we have the info. Someone just needs
Yeah.
to analyze it for us.
Yeah.
So then we cut to this panel of Mercury again, and she says, I'm making a shield. I have to do something or this whole neighborhood will be blown to bits. And I just want to note that she's got her Mercury goggles on, and
Yeah.
some symbols flash across the screen of her goggles, and it's
We've seen these before, right?
yes, it's the planetary symbols again.
Yeah.
The planetary and asteroid symbols. Super cute. So then she raises into the air and she says, super dimensional sphere emerge. And I don't know about you, but when I was rereading this, I was a little confused as to what exactly was going on. But I think what happens is she like teleported them into like a different place. That way the arcade's not destroyed. So they're like inside of like a time anomaly that's inside the game center, but that's not going to destroy the game center so they can fight freely. I think that's what's going on.
Okay.
Because
Color me impressed.
yeah, that's the only thing I can think of, because later it shows them like we're gonna get into the fight scenes of all fight scenes so far, and and they're like they're still there, so that's what I'm assuming is going on.
That kind of makes sense with the definition of time axis.
Yeah, for sure.
Denotes a generic time point, abstract. So they're in the same place, but they're not. Yeah.
So basically, they're just in a time displaced slip of a dimension. So
Nothing scientist in my CV. I don't what that means.
Same. Be like, time axis analysis. That's what we have. So thank you and hire me.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a raise.
A big raise. So anyway, then we cut to this panel of Beryl and Mamoru
Chad.
and Chad. And Beryl says, fight wherever you want. The results will be the same. And then we have Jupiter screams Usagi. Ooh, you good?
I'm good.
She screams Usagi because Beryl has started attacking Usagi. And so basically, Beryl has turned into Bayonetta for all you Bayonetta fans out there. And she's attacking Usagi with her hair, her
Yeah.
long tendrils of scarlet strands. Okay.
Yeah.
And Usagi is screaming, ah!
Yeah.
Bunch of A's. She's screaming. But I love this drawing of like the hair attacking Usagi. Like you get a full length of Usagi. And it just looks really fucking cool.
Oh yeah. I love how
And
her hair just instantly grows.
yeah, like because in the panel before it looks like it's like mid thigh length, and
Yeah,
now all
I
of a
mean-
sudden it's she's Rapunzel, bitch.
But it was, yeah, and it was very sleek, whereas now she's added a lot of volume.
Yeah, she got that
her
Tresemme ooh la
diffuser.
la.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah. So Beryl says, I've waited a long time for this. Now tell me the secret of the silver crystal's power. And then we get she's still strangling Usagi with the hair, and she says, the legendary mystical silver crystal, heirloom of the Moon Kingdom, the Silver Millennium. Where is its infinite power? I will use that power to gain ageless immortality and invincible might.
That's good.
So, thank you. So, Usagi / Sailor Moon is struggling still, and Venus is yelling princess.
Mm.
And then while that happens, we get another Beryl flashback, which I was so excited to see last night rereading this.
Yeah.
Because it's fun to see Beryl like pre-monster.
Yes.
So I love that. So it shows Sage Beryl, and she's like, I think she was kind of like a witch. Like that's why her name was like
Yeah.
Sage Beryl. Because she's like in front of a cauldron.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Oh yeah.
So Beryl explains, I waited so long, since ancient times, since the dawn when I witnessed that massive meteor shower. And we get this cool little panel of the meteors across the sky.
Mm.
And she says, in that ill-fated year, there was a giant gas storm on the sun, a sinister dark spot. And we get another panel of the sun, which looks like a solar flare is about to pop any fucking second.
Yeah.
Which goes back to a couple podcasts ago where we got explained that Queen Metalia came from like a sunspot, a solar flare or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're just furthering, it's just giving us the details again. It's like, hey, it was a sunspot, okay? So then we get this picture of the sun, and Beryl goes on and she says, it rained down onto our planet in a hail of meteors and came to life here on Earth. It was the awakening of a god of darkness. And then we get this panel of Beryl standing before the god of darkness, aka Queen Metalia.
Yeah.
And Queen Metalia is speaking to Beryl and says, you will gain enormous power. You will evade the moon. You will take yourself the infinite power of the mystical silver crystal. And then this planet, this universe will be yours. There we go. Cut, print. Thank you, Howard. Yeah, roll that back. Save it on the disk drive. Thank you. Thank you for the clap. Thank you. So then we get this panel of Beryl, like with her wild ass hair, which is colored in a different texture, which is really cool. But Queen Metalia's in the back with her little black diamond on her forehead, and she looks like a smoke monster, like always. And Beryl continues to monologue and says, since the day I knelt before my supreme ruler, Queen Metalia, I have been waiting for this moment. And the girls are like, supreme ruler Queen Metalia? But we get a cool shot of the four girls, which looks cute. And so then Venus pops in, she pops off and says, Queen Beryl, ruler of the Dark Kingdom, let go of our princess. And then she's thinking, or she says, Beryl, it was you. And she's thinking to herself, I remember. And then Mercury's like, Venus? Like she's saying it like, bitch, explain?
Yeah.
And that's exactly exactly what Venus does. She says, "You're the woman who manipulated the people of Earth, who incited them to war against the moon. You're the one who ruined everything. The woman who sold her soul to the devil, to Queen Metalia." And we get a shot of Sage Beryl leading the riots
Yeah.
that we've seen previously. And Venus is thinking, I remember it all so clearly now. She's the one who took our princess and Prince Endymion. And these are shots we've seen before, but it's
Yeah.
Beryl raising the sword above her head with Metalia in the background, and then Beryl killing Endymion.
Yeah.
Super cute. But then super cute, just girly things, TM. And then we see Venus from the past life says, "Your Highnesses," because Venus witnessed Endymion and Serenity getting attacked. And
Yeah.
it's revealed that Venus is the one who killed Beryl back in the day.
Nice.
She took the moon sword and sliced the bitch.
Oh, yeah.
So then Venus says, "I can't believe you were reincarnated too." And Beryl says, "That fateful day I was turned to dust, and Queen Metalia was buried deep in the earth by your infuriating Queen Serenity. But the unfathomable current of the universe brought us back to life." And Venus says, "Beryl, you're being used. That devil only sees you as another tool." And Beryl says, "Now that I have the mystical silver crystal and the princess in my grasp, there's no reason to wait for my supreme ruler to revive. I, Queen Beryl, will take control of this world. I will be its true queen, with a new consort, with Prince Endymion at my side." And love that panel of Beryl with her like hand out in front of her face, and her hair super flowing.
Oh, yeah.
Love her. But then we get Sailor Moon says, "No, no, you can't." And she's still struggling with the hair. Like
Still, yeah.
the other girls are just like, she's fine. Bad hair day. We get it. We're not
Needs
gonna
a tangle
attack or
teaser
anything.
or something.
A tangle teaser.
To get out of
Yeah,
moon
they need
prison.
something.
Tangle teaser.
So luckily, Venus is like, you know what? We need to do something about this. We're tired of the backstory. We're tired of monologues. So she whips off her chain and she says, "Venus, love me, chain." And she attacks the hair that's attacking Sailor Moon, and it whips away.
I love this love me chain whip thing.
Yes, Venus, love me, chain is boss.
Mm.
So Venus says, "Now you've really made me mad," which I love.
Oh, yeah.
And then, maybe she was flung backwards from the attack, and then she says, "Now you've really made me mad." That makes more sense. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
That
see it
does.
now. I
Yeah.
see it now. Yeah. So she gets thrown backwards. They yell Venus, and then she says, "Now you've really made me mad." And she outstretches her hand, and it starts to glow. And then she says, "O sword, thou holy sword, forged to safeguard my princess, come forth into my hand." And this bitch summons the moon sword just
Nice.
out of nowhere. But I love this part. So she summons the moon sword. Jupiter comes up to Venus, swipes it out of her hand, and says, "Let me try, Venus." She's like, "You summoned it, but let me do something. I'm tired."
She's struggling with it though, is Venus. It looks
She
quite heavy for
is.
her.
Yeah. Yeah, Venus was struggling with the sword a little bit. So Jupiter takes the sword, she swings it high above her head, and she slices Queen Beryl's hair,
Yeah.
freeing Usagi a little bit.
She gave her a haircut. She's like, "You got your hair did."
Yeah, she's like, "That'll be $25.42. Tip not included. So please pay me at jupiterprincess@gmail.com. Thank you." So so Sailor Moon's trying to get the hair off of her neck and stuff. And she's thinking to herself, "I can't breathe, but I can't die. Not yet." And so then Venus grabs the sword back from Jupiter. And she says, "O moon, thou silver millennium, my kingdom, grant myself and my blade your strength." And then we cut back to Sailor Moon, who's struggling, and she's thinking in her head again, "I can't die until I have you back, Mamo, Endymion." At the same time she's thinking this, the silver crystal in Mamoru's hand starts to glow.
Yeah.
And I love this panel that almost looks like it's really blurry to the eye. Like it kind of hurts my eyes looking at it, to be honest. But I love how it looks like everything's shaking.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. With the silver crystal radiating in his hand. And then, sorry, Marcella, your girl's getting 86. Because
Wow.
Venus takes the moon sword and shoves it into Beryl's stomach.
And I had it coming.
She had it coming. Boom, boom. She had it coming. Okay, anyway, sorry, not to go Chicago. Um, but Beryl's like, ugh, and she's bleeding all over the fucking place.
Mm.
But the sword, the moon sword, is starting to glow. And Venus is thinking, the sword, what is this light? And then Beryl looks at Mamoru and she's like holding out her hand to him and she's like thinking to herself, I finally attained my dream. I finally had you, Prince Endymion.
Mm.
And then we get this flashback of Sage Beryl again, which I fucking love this. So earlier in
Mm.
several acts ago, we saw this panel of Endymion and Serenity at the Silver Millennium, the Moon Palace or whatever, and they were kissing by the columns. Well, this flashback scene shows that Beryl was watching them from
Yeah.
behind the columns, and she's thinking to herself, "I was always watching you, waiting, hoping," which is kind of sad. It kind of makes me feel really bad for Beryl.
It does, me too. It's that unrequited love thing that just gets me.
Yeah, it's so sweet. But unfortunately, Beryl's body, her body starts to incinerate itself.
Yeah.
And she starts to blow away into dust until just her gem is left, just like all of the knights. So the
Yeah.
Beryl gem clatters on the floor. And then for a quick little second, we cut to the Dark Kingdom. And we cut to Queen Metalia's another hot hole chamber. And Metalia's like, so Beryl is no longer. Have the people of the Moon Kingdom gotten stronger? And then we cut back to the girls, to the group. And the moon sword is still shining really bright, but there's words across the blade. And Venus is trying to figure out what the fuck this is saying. So Venus is reading from the sword, and it says, when this sword shines with brilliant light, that is the time when the mystical silver crystal hidden within she who would be queen will be set in motion in accordance with her wishes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the girls are all seeing this and they're like, Venus? But Venus keeps reading and it says, with completed crystal in hand, awaken the magnificent power of the moon, offer a prayer to the sacred lunar tower, and restore peace to the kingdom. And Mercury says, there's writing on the sword? She who would be queen? Is it talking about Princess Serenity? It's like, okay, I know you're the smart one, but who the fuck else would it kind of be at this point?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna make it as a doctor on me, but nice try. So then we get a rare panel of Luna. Luna's not really in this chapter, so Marcella and I have no gripes.
Yeah, I'm
This
enjoying it.
chapter, and we're enjoying Luna now. So Luna pops in and she's thinking, releasing the magnificent power of the moon. Is this how we perform the sealing? And then this is too much for Venus to handle, I guess, from the power of the sword and reading the scripture on it. She starts to feel a little woozy at the same time that Mamoru is thinking the magnificent power of the moon, and Venus faints on the ground.
Oh.
Poor Venus. But she looks stunning with her hair all sprawled out in front of her and the belt around her waist. Bitch is looking alive with her ankle heels. Ugh, I stand.
Very Sleeping
We
Beauty.
love. Yeah, she would totally be Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, 100%.
Yeah.
But Mamoru is like, okay, this is my fucking chance. So he snaps up Venus, grabs the moon sword. Sailor Moon yells after Venus, and Mamoru starts bolting out of there.
Yeah.
And Sailor Moon starts running after them. So they're all screaming, Sailor Moon! But then I don't know exactly what happens here, but there's some crackles and shit. But what I take this to mean is like the dimension is unstable because they teleported out or whatever. So then they're back in the Crown Game Center. And Jupiter says they vanished. And Mars says, Sailor Moon, Venus, where did they go? We have to go after them. And then it cuts to this like little radar of the world,
Yeah.
which I was a little confused by. But we'll get to that point.
Mm.
So then there's this whoosh, and we're with Sailor Moon again, Usagi, and she's thinking, it's so cold, I can't see a thing. Where are you? Venus, tuxedo mask. And she's gripping Mamo's pocket watch, the shattered one in her hand still, because she's holding on to hope for Mamoru. Her
She
love is
is.
prevailing. And she's thinking, I'm scared. And then she sees a light. And she's thinking, far, far in the distance, a white light. It's coming from him. Is it the light of the silver crystal? And so she runs towards it, which I know you're supposed to run away from white lights, but Usagi said, bitch, catch me doing the opposite.
Yeah.
So then we cut back to the command center. So Luna is in front of the computer with the girls, and it looks like, I'm just gonna say Mars, because she hasn't had a lot of dialogue this act. She says, "Are you getting a reading on either of them?" And Luna says, "Yes, they're going farther and farther north." And they're like, "North?" And then there's beeping going on the computer, and Luna says, there it is again. Whenever the scanners get close to this area, something jams the signal, and the radar stops working. And they're like, Luna, what region is it? And Luna says, the Arctic Circle around the North Pole.
Ooh.
Which is weird, because we already know from the inscription on Metalia's lair that it says another hot hole, not another cold hole.
Oh, yeah.
So... even though last week we did get the correct inscription, what was it again? Like the returning one, great returning one, or whatever.
Yeah, I like hot hole though.
Yeah, hot hole is just great.
Yeah.
So anyway, Mercury says Luna, and Luna says, yes, it is. It's the exact area we've had our eye on. It looks like they're headed to the Dark Kingdom. And Mars says, we have to go after them before we lose them. And then Luna starts to feel faint, and there's this little swoon above her head.
Yeah, it's because she got KO'd in the last act.
Yeah, it's because Mamoru was like, a cat, yeet. And Luna says, it's nothing. You go on ahead. I'll show you the way. I'll be right behind you. So the girls teleport out of the moon layer, and it cuts out to the Crown Game Center, where the roof is indeed obliterated.
Well, they've made a nice little another exit, haven't they?
Yeah, true. Now they can teleport freely. That's why they never teleported, because the roof was on intact.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to Matoki outside, and he's like, what's that light? What is this, a dream? There was a hole in my building, and Makoto and Ami were there. So it's like, okay, we don't care about this man. They gave him that one little highlight, and then they said, that's it. Because then we cut back to the cats, and Artemis says, Luna. And she says, I'm fine, Artemis. I'm just still smarting from that hit I took earlier. And how fucking cute is this little panel of Artemis licking Luna's face, and she just looks so comforted and loved, and I just okay, cat's making me feel something for Luna. Okay. I don't want to punt her like a football all of a sudden.
No, I want to cuddle her.
I know, just want to snuggle up to her and be like, you know what? I was wrong and you were right. You were
Jump
right,
on my
Paul.
head.
You were right.
Jump on my head anytime.
And be passive aggressive. Do your favorite pastimes with me.
Yeah. Lie to me, Luna.
Lie to me, Luna.
Lie to me.
Oh god. So Luna and Artemis are going back to the computers, and Artemis says, Luna, no, this is not Artemis, this is the girls, specifically Mercury. And she says, Luna, do you read me? We've made it to C point, latitude 72 degrees north. And Luna says, Mercury, keep heading north. And then she's got her headphones on. Yep. She's got her little cat headphones on again.
Yay.
And they're watching the radar, and Artemis says, there's signals, and Luna says, they're gone. That's D point. And so then we cut to Mercury, Jupiter, and Mars. And I don't think Ami says this, but it just says D point directly above the Arctic Ocean. So we're just going to go with it. So that's where they are. And Mercury says, there's no land here. It's a field of ice floating on the ocean. Where could they have gone? And then there's all this fog everywhere. So she's like, fog? As if she can't summon fog. So, you know, if she can summon fog, don't you think she'd be able to like dissipate fog? I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just spitballing here.
Good point.
So then Mars says, this is no ordinary fog. Space-time is being distorted. An evil life force is spreading through the air. And I just want to note that it shows the Arctic landscape, like the hills of the ice and stuff. It looks pretty cool. She's done a really good job.
It would have made more sense to me if it had been Mars who had been shocked by the fog, and then Ami could have...
Yeah, I kind of have
Mercury could have explained.
Yeah, and she'd be like, well, actually, because of the condensation of the iceberg of the 32 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I can already see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been a nice touch. But
Rewrite.
yeah, rewrite please. It's telling us to stay away, Mars says. And Jupiter says, which means we're getting closer to their empire of darkness. And then they start to see a land structure and they say, look, land! I see land! And then we cut back to Luna with her headphones and her Madonna mic looking adorable as hell.
Mm.
And Luna says, their signals are back. They're deep underground. And Mercury says, then that's where we're going, into the depths of the earth. So then we cut to the Dark Kingdom Palace, and Usagi's thinking, what is this place? It's so gloomy and so cold. And then she hears, I didn't think you'd follow me all the way here. And she's on the ground.
Yeah.
And she's standing before, of course, Mamoru.
He's looking
And
extra tall.
he does look really fucking tall. Yeah, because this panel, it shows like the Dark Kingdom archways. They're in like some sort of hallway or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's standing before her and he's got his cape and everything. He looks super sleek. And of course, then we see Venus's body behind him. And he starts to walk towards Sailor Moon. And she says, Tuxedo Mask. But he keeps walking. And then she says, Endymion, it's me, Serenity. And how gorge is this panel
Yeah.
of Sailor Moon with like her Queen Serenity or Princess Serenity identity, like faintly drawn behind her.
Yeah.
It just looks so fucking cool. So then the silver crystal in his hand starts to glow, and we get the shaking panel again.
Yeah.
He reaches out to touch her face as her moon crescent on her forehead starts to glow. And you're thinking, oh, maybe he does remember her. Maybe they're going to kiss.
Yeah.
But no. He starts
No.
to strangle Usagi.
Oh,
And he's strangling her so hard that he lifts her off the fucking ground, bitch.
jeez.
And she's screaming. And so he's lifting her up with one hand, mind you. And in the
Yeah.
other hand, he has the silver crystal. And he says, tell me, if this is the mystical silver crystal, why won't it give off any power? If there's some other mystical silver, is there some other mystical silver crystal? Something other than this useless piece of glass? Something other than that sword? Something with more power? And even though she's being strangled with one fucking arm, the strength it must take,
Yeah.
she says no. And then he says, what is this magnificent power of the moon? Does it come from a different silver crystal? Where is it? And she's struggling and thinking to herself, this isn't happening. The man I love, he would never do this to me. And so she reaches out for the silver crystal.
She needs to be getting a Shania Twain, black eyes, blue tears.
Yeah, she's like, black eyes, I don't need them, blue tears, give me freedom. Anyway. So she reaches out for the silver crystal and it starts to glow, and it glows so much that it like propels both of them backward. Or at least that's what it looks like.
Yes.
Yeah. So Sailor Moon falls down, and while this is happening, we cut to the girls. Mercury, Jupiter, and Mars, and they just got to the palace. And I don't know who's talking, but it just says, this is the Dark Kingdom.
What's with the extra long legs in this?
Very, like, look at Jupiter's fucking legs. Like, holy shit. Like, she looks long and lanky as fuck.
Mm.
So then our trio, the Sailor Guardian trio, stumbles into the hall where Sailor Moon, Sailor Venus, and Endymion are. And Mercury says, Sailor Moon, Sailor Venus. And then we cut to Mamoru, and he's getting back on his feet after being blown backwards. And he says, Moon Princess, that power, was it you? Can you control it? Can you control the silver crystal? And then, smoke starts to materialize behind Endymion. And we see the black filled-in diamond and the glowing eyes of Queen Metalia. So Queen Metalia says, heir to the kingdom of the moon, you've come far to make it here. You have reached my isolated empire, the Dark Kingdom. And this panel of all 5 girls standing before Endymion, and it looks like Endymion's standing on like a black oil spill that's reaching farther and farther across the floor.
Oh, yes,
it looks
cool.
super sick. So then they see, so Metalia starts to materialize behind Endymion, and we see this shape that we keep seeing, the smoke form of Metalia, but it also looks kind of feminine,
Yeah.
in a way, and like the facial features, the way the
Oh,
smoke
yeah.
is featured out, and they're thinking, is this the supreme ruler, Queen Metalia? This is our greatest enemy. And I love this panel of all five girls' reactions because Ami clasps both hands over her mouth, and they look shook and
Yes.
shaken. So then we cut to the next panel, and Endymion blasts them with energy, and all the girls are taking the brunt of this.
Mm.
And then there's a crackling, some teleportation lightning is going on, and Artemis and Luna just teleported to the Dark Kingdom.
Okay.
Super casual,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the fact that they finally locked in on the girl's location that allowed them to teleport, but have y'all always like just had this in your back pocket? Like, okay, now it's time to
Yeah.
teleport.
Well, you know.
You know what? Don't lie to me, Luna. Don't lie to me anymore. Give me the fucking facts, bitch.
Yeah.
Anyway. So in this next panel, doesn't it look like Artemis attacks Endymion? Doesn't it kind of
Yeah.
look like he like blasts Endymion? I
Oh,
don't think that's
yeah.
what's happening. I think it's just the leftover magic and energy from the teleportation, but it just looks like
It does.
Artemis is the chosen one and just blasts this big ball of energy at Endymion. But anyway,
Oh, love it.
love it. Sailor Moon turns around and is like, Luna. And Luna says, Sailor Moon, it's the mystical silver crystal. Its power is inside him. That's what's making him so strong. Listen carefully. The inscription on the sword was telling us how to perform the seal. And we get a panel of Venus holding up the moon sword.
Mm.
And then we cut to this image of Queen Metalia. And Luna continues to explain and says, the only way to seal away that devil Queen Metalia is to use the mystical silver crystal in its complete form. Sailor Moon must use the power of her heart to take the silver crystal's light out of Tuxedo Mask and put it back to make the crystal complete again. Then use it as a switch to unleash the moon's power. And we got like a little flashback panel of
Yeah.
the light from the silver crystal going inside of Endymion. So that was cute. And then Luna is an awesome panel of Usagi, by the way, looking super shocked and floored, as always. And Luna says, you must seal Queen Metalia away and banish her from existence. The time has come, Sailor Moon. And then Metalia's had enough of these monologues, and Metalia says, power, you say? The infinite power of the mystical silver crystal? Where is it? Where is the source of this power? Give it to me! And Luna says, this power exists to destroy you, Queen Metalia.
Yeah.
And Metalia, huh? I love that panel of Luna too. Cute.
Yeah.
And it looks like scales are behind her,
It
like
does.
snake skin.
Snake
It looks
skin.
really interesting. Yeah. So I don't know if that's supposed to signify what Metalia looks like up close, but that would be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
So Metalia says, weak, ignorant, empty-headed princess. You think you can destroy me? Your corpse will lie in the Dark Kingdom for eternity. Anyway, thank you. Thank you. I'll be taking no calls at this time. Howard, can you go ahead and run that back? And then George, I need you to contact Viz and tell them I'm going to be doing the next dub. Thank you. You're on it? Okay. Yeah, I think it's vizmedia@gmail.com. Yeah, thank you. Okay, great. So
I love how everybody uses Gmail.
I know, right? So then we get this badass panel of Mars holding her hands, hovering above each other. And it looks like she's summoning a massive ball of energy. And she says, evil spirit, be gone. But as she's doing it, Sailor Moon's yelling, Mars! And so Mars hurls we'll just say it's a fireball, the fireball at Metalia, and it does nothing.
No.
It gets absorbed into Metalia's form. And Metalia says, more energy, give me more. She's back on the Britney Spears track.
Yeah.
And Mars says, give me more, give me more. We in the club today.
Oh, yeah.
So Mars says, well, we are at another hot hole.
We are.
CC the Dark Kingdom. Yeah. So Mars says, it didn't work. And Jupiter says, "What are we supposed to do? There's no way we can beat her like this. We don't even know how we're supposed to attack Tuxedo Mask." And Venus says, "He's a different person now. He's no different than Queen Metalia. We have to get the mystical silver crystal out from inside him." That's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Um, so Venus raises her hands over her head and she says, "I call upon my planet of love. Venus, grant me the power of love." And Usagi's like, "Venus!" But I fuck with this part so
Mm,
much because this attack is not an anime, if I
mm,
do believe correctly. But
mm.
so a glowing heart of energy appears inside of Venus's hands, and she says, "Rolling heart vibration," and she sends it hurling towards Endymion, and he just flings out his hand and stops it, and
I
he
love
redirects it.
how.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I just love how she's got her love me chain whip and her vibrating heart. She's yeah.
Honestly, Venus in the manga is so much more badass than Venus in the anime. Like,
Yes.
they really did our girl dirty. Minako got the bad edit because she's so fucking cool in the manga. And I
Yeah.
can't wait till we read Codename Sailor V and we get
Oh,
to
I
like
know.
even more insight on Minako and how she is as like a guardian and stuff. I'm super
Yeah.
excited for it.
Me too.
But like I said, he redirects the energy. Venus gets thrown on her ass because the attack comes back and hits her. And Sailor Moon says, "Venus." And finally, she snaps out of her stupor. She raises the moon wand and she says, "Moon healing escalation." And it looks like it's trying to work. And Endymion like feels all the energy vibrations from moon healing escalation. And we get another shaky panel of him. But it does nothing, of
No.
course. And he says, "Oh, we get this shot of his like black void eyes again," which I just love the detail.
Yeah.
And he says, "You're wasting your time. You will never beat me." And Sailor Moon's thinking, "Isn't there any way to change him back? We have to beat Queen Metalia, but to do that, I have to take the power of the mystical silver crystal out of him." And then she thinks back to Beryl saying, "You breathed the silver crystal's power into the prince's lifeless body, but to no avail, he died." And she continues on her monologue and says, "It was the power of Queen Metalia that brought the prince back to life. Is he really a totally different person? Do I have to beat him? Kill him?" So she's going through it.
Yeah.
And so much so that she starts to not be able to fucking handle this. And she screams no. And doesn't it look like her adongos like start to ring? Like it almost is like she's
Mm.
activating her supersonic screech to me.
Yeah, no, they definitely are because it's
Yeah.
focusing on them in that panel. So
Right. So I
something's
think
going
that
on.
I think she's activating her supersonic screech because she's in such pain. And meanwhile, the silver crystal is, let's just say, vibrating in Endymion's hand.
Yeah.
And then it starts to glow. And Mars notices and says, "Luna, what's happening?" And Luna says, "The chaos in Usagi's heart is affecting Tuxedo Mask and the silver crystal. They're resonating with it." And Ami, with her Madonna mic, because I didn't notice that before, but her Madonna mic is extracted. Love that. And she says, "Usagi's heart is controlling the power of the mystical silver crystal." There's a lot of repeating in this chapter, I'm noticing. Like Luna
Yeah.
just said that, but
Yeah.
Mercury was like, "Hey, guess what? This is happening, y'all."
But they know not to trust Luna fully, so they kind of had to repeat that
You know
part.
what? That's fair. She's lied a lot. That's
Yeah.
totally fair. So then Endymion sizes up his hands and he's starting to gather energy to blast at them. So he gathers energy, he blasts it at the girls. Meanwhile, Usagi's like, "Please tell me, Queen Serenity." And then we get this flashback of Queen Serenity. I won't make you do it this time.
Oh,
Uh, unless you want to.
I can. If I can remember how I did it. I think it was just my voice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You are the only one who can do this. I want you to be proud that you are a princess and that you are Sailor Moon.
Yay! So good. Uh, but Usagi says, "But I can't. The guardian of justice. Is there no other way?" And we just get this awesome panel of Usagi crying, and she doesn't know what the fuck to do. She's feeling really overwhelmed, and she's thinking, "I can't take it. I hate seeing him like this." And Usagi's looking at the moon sword that's on the ground.
Yeah.
And Venus must get an inkling because she looks over at this, sees Sailor Moon eyeing the moon sword, and she's like, "Sailor Moon?" And Sailor Moon lifts up the moon sword, grabs it in her hands while she's thinking, "Is this my only choice? Is this our fate?" So she grabs the moon sword She goes towards Endymion as she's thinking, are we destined to be torn apart, even in our new lives? So she runs towards Endymion, slashes him across the chest, and you see a little bit of spray of blood next to him.
Yeah.
And I looked this up in the Moon Wiki just to be sure, because when I was rereading this, I was like, she doesn't stab him, does she? But
Yeah.
it does say that she slashes Endymion across the chest. So
Okay.
and then as his blood is spilling on her, she looks up into Endymion's eyes. She grabs his face and kisses him.
Oh.
And they kiss, and she starts crying, and she's thinking, Mamo. And then she takes the sword and she plunges it into her own chest. And we get this double page spread of blood surrounding the moon sword as she plunges it into her chest. And that's how we end the chapter.
Fuck.
Fuck is right. It's such a cliffhanger. Like, she stabs the fuck out of herself and then it's over.
Yeah.
Oh, so intense. This was like when I was rereading this last night, I was like, damn, this is a fucking good chapter and some shit goes the fuck down in it.
Oh yeah, big time. Huge.
So, as always, Marcella, what was your favorite part?
Oh, so immediately just that part that we've just gone over with the kind of the ultimate sacrifice.
I know, it's so sweet. I was about to say it's so cute, but it's not cute.
I know it's not cute, but yeah, they know what we mean.
But they know what we mean.
They know what we mean. Because and other parts. I loved Venus in this chapter.
Yes, Minako got the fucking spotlight in this, and you know what? She
did.
fucking deserves it.
Oh, she deserves it. Yeah, she was great, and I just love the fact that the Dark Kingdom's in the Arctic Circle as well, because you know I'm drawn to cold.
For sure. Oh yeah, same. We would 100% be Knights of the Dark Kingdom or something.
Oh yeah. Well, when we were looking at the panel with the sort of icebergs and things, I was like scouting house locations.
North Pole real estate.
Yeah, exactly. Google it. We need to find out. And then I just liked the little bit more. It was just a touch more of Beryl's backstory that we got, but how she had been in love with Prince Endymion, and she'd finally got him, and just right before she dies.
I know.
Yeah, I think they were my standouts.
Yeah, for sure. Good choices. Good choices.
Thank you. What about you?
Yeah, my number one is the fight scenes. Just the fight scenes in general. There were like this entire chapter was almost completely fight scenes, actually. And it's just the way that Naoko draws her fight scenes, like they're somehow like really gritty and intense, but at the same time beautiful and hold some sort of whimsy to them. I think it's just the way that she draws.
Yeah, whimsy is a good choice, definitely.
Yeah, like it's just it's such a juxtaposition because like literally Beryl is getting stabbed, but like the panel of her getting stabbed is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So I love that juxtaposition. It's hands down the best. Like I'm sorry, but everyone else who does manga, go home. No one's doing it like Naoko. That's why she stopped after Sailor Moon. She was like, this is my masterpiece. I don't need to do shit else.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely a highlight for me. Kind of like you said, the Minako spotlight. I loved getting Minako. Like you really feel the fact that more than being told that she's the leader in this one. Like you see that like she's the last line of defense. She's gonna call the fucking shots.
Yeah.
So I loved that. And then the Beryl backstory. I loved getting more. I love when like TV shows and just media in general takes a scene, like shows you a scene, right? And then like 2 episodes later, 10 episodes later, they show the same scene, but then they pan back and you're like you see Beryl is in the background. I love when like shows do that shit that like something that you already saw, there was more to it than that. So I love the way that Naoko showed us that same scene of Endymion and Serenity, but pans out and Beryl was there the whole time. Like, that's my bread and butter, bitch. I fucking love that. Yeah, so that's definitely my favorite part. This was such a good action fucking packed.
I know.
And I'm gonna look briefly through the next chapter. I think it's another crazy action packed chapter next week too.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh yeah, it is. I'm going through. Oh, there's lots of turmoil in this, sad shit. Oh, we're in for it next week. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's some good shit. Oh, look at that. Ooh. Oh, it's a long one.
Oh, there's so much happening.
Oh, right? Oh god, I'm so excited for next week now. Oh, it's gonna be good. I know that y'all can't see what we're looking at, and y'all are just hearing us react to shit, but,
I've just
I
got
know.
okay.
I know.
Okay,
I
let's
know,
not.
right? I know, it's so good. Alright, so, next week, we will be, discussing Act 13, Final Battle Reincarnation. This is the penultimate chapter, because there's 14 chapters in the Dark Kingdom arc, so we're almost at the end, y'all. We're almost
Oh,
there. It's hard to believe that, like, it seems like we've been reading this act forever, or this arc forever, but it also seems like we just started.
I
It's really
know,
weird.
completely.
But thank you again for listening to this episode of Sailor Manga. You can find me on the internet at JustinGray22 across Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube.
And you can find us both on Twitter at Sailor Manga Pod.
And if you fancy a chat, a chin wag with us, if you will,
Oh,
you can send us an email at sailormangapodcast@gmail.com.
Gmail.
And everyone has Gmail, girl.
Everyone's on Gmail.
Everybody.
Except Queen Metalia. I feel like Queen Metalia would be on Hotmail.
I was about to say she would 100% be on Hotmail. Another whole
Yeah.
Hotmail at hotmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thanks again for listening to this episode of Sailor Manga. And until next time, in the name of the moon,
We'll be back soon.
bye, guys.
Bye.
I 100% almost fucked up the ending.
Did you? I didn't even notice.
Because I was like, until next time. And I was like, wait, that's not what I say. I say, in the
Oh.
name of the moon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I didn't even notice.
Well, I'm glad one of us didn't notice because I was like, fuck, 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 fuck. I was like,
didn't
recover, recover, recover.
Like a pro.
I try.